Good morning. Good morning. Good morning is one of those times of the year where I don't even know if anybody's going to show up today because either they're shopping or if you're in Florida right now, we have really bad weather, and so it's like rainy, and you don't want to get out and shop. But oh, I got Teresa. I got somebody on. That's a good thing. So my husband just said this last week, have you ever had where nobody came on? And I said, yeah, it's not fun when you're doing it by yourself. It depends on the timing or what was going on. I have to film because the holidays, 2 angel filmings, um, pre-recorded, which means I will be alone. Hello, Miss Judy. I'm glad you're on. Um, so I I like that I can still do them where even if we're not in town, you can get them and stuff. But we are going to be in town. It's just Mark has some surgery. So, but thank you very much for you guys coming on. Oh, we got Lee too. So Teresa, Judy, and Lee. I was thinking I was going to be by myself. So thank you for coming on, guys. We are going to jump right into this fun project. I always tried to make it. I know, Teresa, I'm so thrilled. You were the only one on for Mark the other day, and I'm sure more people watch it afterwards. But you sure did make Mark feel good because he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad Teresa was here," because he had somebody to talk to, so that was nice. Um, and it means a lot to us during this holiday to make sure that we get on and do our promised airings. But it's nice if some people are able to join us. But I don't take it personally, especially during this time, because it's crazy, busy. So first thing I want to start with is I really wish I wasn't on a 16 by 20, but I don't have anything else here to work with except 11 by 14, and that's going to be too small. So only because I want it under the camera so you can see it all. So I'm going to be leaving some of the top a little bit less detailed and just kind of move my pattern down on the 16 by 20. But when you see this photo in other places, the wreath shows more. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than my pattern, like coming down so that you can actually see a hole in the middle, kind of, so you know that it's a complete wreath. My fingers don't type too fast this early. It's 10. 10, so 3 hours back from you is 9, 8, 7, 7. I know. At 7, I'm kind of sitting in my recliner deciding if I'm going to move or what I'm going to cook for breakfast for Mark. So anyway, thanks for being on. We're going to go right down to our project and get started so that you guys can be with me and do what else you have to do today. All right. So I just have to turn it so I'm not upside down when I'm seeing you, and then I have to go back and switch it around when I turn it down. So, oops, I went too far. There we go. All right. So I'm going to get off for a little while, but I'll be back. My credit card was hacked. Oh no. Oh, fourth time in a month. Oh, my bank kept saying just close your account, open a new one. I'm like, no, that's even worse. So God bless, sweetie. All right, so let me share with you on this. I need to know if we're right-handed. Right now, I got my left hand out there. It should be right. Tell me if it is right. It should be. This is my right hand. And yes, we're good. Okay. North Carolina here, but I can't stay. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get going because so many of you have lots to do. All right. So I want you to see that I did this on a 16 by 20. What I decided to do was move it over a little bit so that the wreath shows a little bit. Pat is what I was telling everybody. And these two stalks are to make the straight trees instead of having them tip one way or the other. All right, so I'm going to put that pattern to the side, and I did have some step out worksheets, different steps of this, and then I had this guy, and so that's going to be kind of what the wreath is. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my mop brushes if you have them. If not, you can use a 3/4 or a sponge. All right, and I'm going to, I've got this one is a 3/4 mop and a 1/2 inch mop. All right, so let's put out some floating medium, but I use water sometimes for the mop, and some gray and some white. Okay, so I put a lot because I'm going to be using a lot along the way. And the gray will be kind of the trees in the back. And we could put a little bit of sap. So I barely any I'll use a smaller mop brush to show that, because we'll mix it with gray. All right. So let's go to the top first of all. All right. Now I'm going to go into the water and dampen this brush. And I want it to be a little frosty here. So I'm going to put white with some medium gray. Oops. White with some medium gray. All right. So if I'm kind of moving this around, I keep picking up the white because I want you to see the white. I tried to do this other day with a black background, and it was not fun because of light. For our mystery class, I hope you guys like that mystery class, any of you that get to come, because I thought just for fun, because I know I'll be going crazy about then, is after Christmas to do our little class together. I'm doing one more mystery painting for the year, and it's on the 29th. So I will get you sizes and colors, but we get to have fun together again and create something. I'm trying to make it like really amazing. And I have a couple of things to pick from when I decided to say, hey, Amanda, that was fun. So we're going to plan another one. Good morning. It is not sunny here. Hello, Denise. I didn't get to attend live, but I watched the replay. I loved it. It was fun, huh? So we used to do that every once in a while in my in-person class. So now see, it's foggy or dreary or whatever winter look. And I don't know what you guys call it when it's that time of the year, but that's what our area is right now. You know what? I made that pole. I moved the pattern in that pole. Light post is cockeyed a little bit. Where did I put my... I wanted y'all to put this in. Okay, let's see. Make it straight a little bit. All right, so a little bit of water, white, and some gray in between. Now, these trees are going to look like they're in the background because the birds in focus. Okay. So we are going to put some evergreens in here and then mist white over those. So can you see the gray and the white? I need to do the edges too, but right now I'm not going to do the edges. All right, I'm going to do in here. Okay, so in between here, you're going to see some, and maybe a slight area there, maybe. See that? All right, so a little bit of water, a little bit of gray, and now we're going to come under these trees. All right, so it's got a little bit of white. See that? Okay, now I did put some gray in here. And gray down in here, kind of. And then we'll come back in here and see it and just grab thick white. Okay, and a little bit of white in the middle of these two. And then down here at the bottom. Okay, so you can get that whole watercolor look pretty fast. All right. Now I don't want to leave those mop brushes in the water, so I'm going to rake it one way. Don't go back and forth, and then I'm going to squeeze out the water. Okay, and then we're going to put that up. All right, so I can use this brush to get those two trees. Start to get a bit colder, but more important, we might actually get some rain tomorrow. Crazy weather this year, I know. We're getting rain, really bad rain this afternoon, it said. And so my grandson came to do my garden, and I have him doing my cupboards. Vacuuming and doing cupboards for me. Okay, so I want you to see I'm going to take some medium gray with a little bit of green. Gray, green, and white. Okay, and we're on this 1/2 inch mop brush. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the top. Now I need it really muted. This is not muted enough there, but we can, remember, we can glaze over it with white, but I was just thinking we could make this light enough that we don't have to do that. So just see, then I can start coming down. Okay. See, I can kind of go like this. And we're going to come right down here. All right, so it's just going to get a misty look in the background. And that stem in the middle is not to show. I just want it to be keeping us straight. I'm just pulling that chisel a little bit. So I still might go over this with a little bit. Let me get that pencil out there, right? Oh, you know what? It's not pencil, it's the graphite, so it's probably not going to come up. All right, so we'll get some medium. We're getting back over here in the green. So that just has a little cast of green and gray. So it's kind of misty. All right. It's got a little bit more green than I wanted. I need a little bit more gray. Okay, so this one's in front, so I'm going to take it back and bring it in front. So all right. Now we're going to put snow, and I think when we're all done, I think I am going to make sure that this has a white glaze over it so it just looks kind of foggy in the background, like the photo that we did. All right. All right. I know. Is that brush nice? Because it can make better than a fan brush. So when the bird's done and the greenery's in here, this it's going to really look faded. So then we don't have to worry. We'll have to see. All right. I'm going to turn this so I can get to it easy on the camera. All right. So what I was showing you guys is we're going to come in here with a couple different colors, but to start with, we are going to use the yellow. You know what? I don't know what I do with my dauber, but I'm going to get this going here for you. One of the colors, I used a teeny bit of yellow ochre. Sorry. This is all multi-surface paint. All right, so I'm going to pick up the white with yellow and bring some yellow ochre in. All right, so we're going to come all in here so I can go right over everything because we're going to stroke back over it. All right, so if we put this when we do the white glow, it will really show. All right, so if you look at the worksheet, I did get a little bit more yellow down here. Now this is an 8. I like to use the big dauber, but I don't have the big dauber right in front of me, I just realized. So I'm going to show you that if you don't have the big dauber that's as big as that, or close to that, you daub it and you move it around to get it big enough. Then I'm going to come here. I didn't talk to you about the pattern. When we put the pattern, we wanted to make sure, as you saw, the shape of the bird, the shape of this, and use a ruler along here to get those lines straight when you're tracing it. Okay, but you can see all the things that we really need. The rest of it, we don't need it here. All right, so I'm going to my 16 and picking up white, and I can come right around here if you don't have your dauber. And I put these on top of candles, you might remember. There we go. All right, so at the bottom, I did put a little bit of red or yellow. Okay, just lightly. And then I'm going to come back and put gray all around the edges of this. All right. Now, while I'm here with this brush, I'm working out a little bit of the yellow ochre. I'm going to come right in here. All right, so we put a little bit of yellow there. It'll be nice. There's a couple of leaves that have that same tone. All right, when we do that, and I'm going to put just a little bit of cast there. Now, I'm going to pick in some white with some gray. And we're going to come right along here. A little bit of gray under there. And a little bit of gray right there. So I'm going to come down just right here and work on the light post. All right, so what happens in here is we get like a pure white. I'm also going for right now to put some white here, which I'll probably have to put there again later. And down here, this is black here. I'm going to drag some white on the chest. Okay, just a cute little white on the chest. Hey, Stephanie. I'm glad you're on this morning. Hello, hello. All right, so see how I brushed a little? You could get your little rake brush if you have the small rake and do this too. I don't want to make it so if you don't have it, you don't feel uncomfortable. So all right. So I need to put black and then work white in here, but we can put a little bit of white right now. It's going to be snow, so. Okay. All right, so that's going to be the snow on top of there. And I'm going to put black underneath it, and snow's going to be on here. But we got to come do that a little bit later, okay? So I just put the white on the inside of here. Now, let's get the licorice. And I'm still going to use this as a good brush, this 8. So we are going to put we could take, I was going to get that mop brush, so you could take and fuzz this out a little bit with this mop brush so it's not a hard line. All right, so I just got it out of focus just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to get some of the black lines in. All right, I'm glad to be here too. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to put a top on here. And one of the things I did was instead of just a round top, I went ahead and made it a little pointed. But it's up to you. I've got to kind of lean it up so I can get it straight. There. All right. Then, so we're going to come right along here, and this line, the bottom line, needs to be straight. The top line is snow, so like this is going to come out here, and it goes up a little bit. And this one goes down a little bit too. All right. And then we're going to come right down here. I'm going to touch and lean, and then I'm going to pull this straight down. There we go. Same thing on the two sides. I'm going to touch and lean, and I gotta put this down so I can make it straight. Right here. Now on the bottom here, you're not going to see much, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it come across here. Because right there, you're going to see this bottom edge. And the rest is a lot of snow, so don't try to finish it, okay? But then as we come around here, all right, this is the 8. You touch, lean, and then you stand up, stand up, stand up as we come around. Okay, see that? And this is going to go right here. And right down here, I made it curve this way and curve this way. All right, now right here, we're going to come down, come down. All right, we're going to come right out here, right there, and then fill it in. Then we're going to come right straight across here. And then we're going to come straight down. All right, so then we're going to put lots of detail on that, but for right now, that's just the base coating of it. And then I'm going to need a smaller brush than an 8 to do the detail on the face. I'm going to come in here and get my 2 or my 6, and I'm going to come right in here and do all of this right in here. So that's under the cheek, under the beak. And we're going to come right down to here. And this just kind of brushes down onto that white. Okay. And right in here, he's got his little monk hat on. And the eyes in there. All right. Okay, so everything else is going to be gray. I'm going to wipe this off. I don't need to go in the water. And I'm going to just come in here with some gray. And the gray goes into the face also. There we go. Little teeny bit of gray in there. And right in here, all right, and we're going to come back and put these little paws out here on top of the greenery. All right, now I'm going to go back to my 8. See, the black just pops everything. You're right. All right, so I'm going to come in here and get white and gray first. And then come trimming out with, what is that? That's a branch down there. I'm going to trim it out with some licorice. So here is the tail back here. All right. And then when we do the wing, all right, I'm going to come right along here. Okay. All right. So right up here, I did do it a little white, but then I'm going to come in here with gray and licorice, medium gray and licorice. And we're going to come right in here. All right, so we're going to come down here a little bit. All right, we're going to blend this in. All right, so he's looking pretty good. Oh, that is perfect. And they're easy to paint too, those little wood cutouts. They're easy to paint because the shape's all there. All right, so I do want to come in here ever so lightly and put the eye in here. So look, I'm just going a little bit around and then I just put a highlight. Oops. All right, so I want to show you what happens here. I go ahead, I don't worry about it being perfect because then what happens is I can just either take the handle of the brush or I can take the tip of the one script liner and I can just put licorice back in there. And then it makes it look perfect. Okay, so let's go back with, that's a 2. A 6 would be better, but I mix my brushes all into each other. All right, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to pick up some white with medium gray, and under here, inside is kind of frosted. White and medium gray. Okay, so I'll come across here with a little bit of gray. Okay, we're going across there. Shadows right here again. All right, so see, it's just getting a little bit, and that's kind of like frost inside, right? So I'm going to come along here because I want the licorice to still show. All right, now up here, we can have the white being kind of clumpy and coming down on the black like we did. Okay. And then the white's along here too. So I've got the 6 brush and I'm just tapping it. And we're going to come along this way too. All right. Now I'm going to wipe that off my brush, but it still has white on it, right? And I'm going to touch in here with some gray. See that gray under there? All right. Just little bits to shade it. And now I'm going to get a bigger flat brush. And I'm going to pick up gray with that 16. And I'm just going to sputter it down here, which this is too dark. So I'll show you what I'll do. So I'm going to put white. And I'm going to put some white along here. Okay. Now I do need to stroke some white back on here. So there we are. Little bits of snow on there. All right. And it looks like the white disappeared. So I am going to come right in here. Make it glow a little bit brighter. And we're going to put a little bit in here. All right, so what's going to happen to all that's like I want it, but what's going to happen is I can put a teeny bit of gray and just touch the top of this slightly. All right, and then the gray is going to go right here. So it really needs a teeny bit of white and gray. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. They do kind of reflect each other. You're thinking very deep today, Miss Teresa. Oh my gosh, that song that you sang this morning, I was loving it. All right, so we just put a little bit of snow, a little bit more white highlight in here. All right, so let's go up a little bit higher. See my messiness. Okay. Okay. So the first coat I'm going to put on my, I didn't get out red, so on apple red, on my bows. I know we're going to cover it a few times, but the first thing I did was put red with a 16, and I did have a band right there. So I'm going to try to leave that. All right. And we're going to make it a little bit red there, red there. There we go. Same thing's going to happen here. We're going to come right straight there. And on this side, but see how I'm leaving a band? There we go. See how I leave the band? Because it's got a creamy colored band. Okay, so did you already have that recorded, or you just recorded, or you recorded it when you sang it to me? It was like amazing. Yeah, we need to get Teresa to sing to you guys. All right, so the red is in there. It's going to have the creamy color on the outside, which is really a little teeny bit of the yellow ochre colors. But what I'm going to do now, my water dripped in there, and that will mess that up. Here, let me dry it up. We're going to put berry wine on this, or Juneberry. It really has a Juneberry look on it for those who like purples. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to put citrus and sap. I'm going to put a little bit more sap than I have. So we're going to pick up, I'm going to get floating medium and sap. And what I want to do, and I showed this to you on the worksheets, is I want to come around here. All right, I'm going to put a dark green in here. See how this comes out. Okay. I want to have a little bit of a gap there. I want to take this and wrap it a little bit around here. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to, with the same brush, do some chiseling. All right, so that goes up just a little bit. Now, I want to fade this out up here, so I'm going to put some gray and white. And I'm going to come right in here. Get a little bit more white. All right, so I'm going to put this up just a little bit so that we don't have such a glare back there. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of the gray. All right, so we just have little bits of frost in here. Okay, so that's just going to be the underneath background, right? I'm going to come that way so y'all can just really see the wreath part. I keep getting medium. And then we're going to come over here too. A little bit of gray. All right, see that still needs some white and gray. Medium. Just a little bit. All right, so now let's go in here, and we have a little citrus, but we're mostly getting the sap. I'm going to put some gray in here too. All right, so we put it up there so the bird can grab it. See, and to make these evergreens, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do it so you can see it actually. Let's see over here. You see that? And so you're going to put the dark in between. So there's a couple of different colors of green in here. All right, so we pick up some grays and whites here and there. Is that starting to look good? I'm going to put some darker up in here. So I'm not worrying too much of having every single evergreen look like a bowl of evergreen. Are you putting 6 or just allergies from all the rain? Oh, no. Mark and them had the crud, and I didn't get it, but in the mornings, oh my goodness, I'm just like sniffle. Sorry. I don't want to bother you guys with it. Thank you, Lee. This is kind of not as much detail as we had to do the other night in our mystery class, but I was driving you crazy then. I hope I don't drive you crazy now. But that's what I'm saying. Don't try to make it all perfect, because in a few minutes we'll put a bunch of berries in here. And one of the things that I did in the worksheet for you to see is, I think, no, I didn't. I'll just show you some of that light green on the outside. Okay, let's pull these in here. All right, so I think that'll look pretty. There's a couple of these where it's just got a little bit, let me white this out, put a little bit of gray and white, and then some yellow ochre. And that kind of pulled these colors in. And on the edge, I put white. See right there? I got the 16. Right. You weren't driving me crazy. I'm already there. Okay. So I'm going to dry this a little bit so that I can get this true color in here. I'm going to put a few of these. The thing about drying this is that the sealer's inside the acrylic, so you can't tell. I was looking at the greenery they did. They didn't work very hard to make it wonderful. So look, right in here, they put a few of these little guys here and there. And so I think that just kind of brought down the creamy color, and it also goes in here, so it's kind of nice. Now I picked up pretty wet. So I know some of these things you guys worry about a lot. See, I picked up green. I don't care. It's fine. When we get through, it'll just have a shade of that green in there. So it's like you meant to do it. All right. So all right. Let's see. All right. And a little bit up here. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, so let's put in a couple of things here. We need beer. I'm gonna put Juneberry. I think I said berry wine on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do some Juneberry because it'll look good on here too. So I'm gonna put it right here with the red. Berry wine looks good too, so. All right, if you don't want any purple tones in yours. All right, so I pick up red and then I side load, apple red, side load Juneberry. All right, so you're gonna come right here. And when I say float with floating medium or float with paint. This is floating with paint. So I use red, side load per Juneberry. All right. So put some red in there and some Juneberry. See? Red. And we're not trying to get that perfect. We're just shading it. If you look at the picture, they don't do it perfect either. So it's not like I'm making sure it's dark on one side and light on the other. I take some dark along here. Sorry. Okay, red. Okay. And if we need anything, like I can get a teeny bit of licorice. And to get another U, it's too much. Wipe it off. Come back over here. And then we can go right in here and get some dark in here. See that? See how that gives you depth in there? A little bit there. So I'm just coming in here with the same, sorry I didn't tell y'all, this is an 8, but it's the right stripe size for doing the cream. The perfectionist, yes. Okay. How do you figure that? All right, so let's pick up some white and let's go over here, and we're just going to get more white and have white and yellow ochre just to get those tones in here. And I think that makes a difference. Instead of pure white, look at it pure white. And when we get through adding the cream, yellow ochre creamy color, we will touch it up with white. But you know what? I'm going to really mess this up if I don't dry that, because then it will be pink all in there. Okay, so let's go back to the cream color. Now there again, I'm not trying to make it exactly a perfect stripe here. I'm going to come right in here. I can come a little bit here. Maybe a little bit there. And then we're going to come right here. Okay, white and yellow ochre. Okay. Drip to drip there. All right, we're getting a nice color in there. There we go. Okay, so one of the things is that came in here, that's not good. Came in here and there's a little highlight here. Little highlight in here. Okay, so okay, we can shade that with a little bit gray later. But I'm going to do the daubers, the berries, and then we'll put some more snow in there. It's looking good. Okay. All right, so I showed you we're taking the regular dauber. We could get a little bit of berry wine on one side, and we're just going to come in here, tap, 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 and put some clusters. Red. You can just come in here and do some of those. And then come back with a little bit of berry wine. But I want to show you, oops, that I did put the berry wine, and then I put little dots. So I'm going to do the last detail. I know some of you have to leave. I want to do the last detail and show you, and I'll post it. You can watch it later if you can't be here. So one thing that happens is I'm going to shade underneath them just a little bit with that sap. And we got thunder out there. Okay. That looking good. Okay, so what happened besides the other snow I'm going to put on is I'm going to come under there. I'll just show you one little spot because I'll do it later when it's dry. Because what you don't want to do, watch this. I'm going to come under here. And you can do that around the berries, but you can't do it while the berries are wet. See, because now I got red everywhere. So I want you to see the difference when you have the dark green underneath and where you don't. Okay, so also It can go right under here to lift that leaf up, or along here. And that is floating medium, and just sap green. All right. See, this is just all added. You see it looks good even without this. But if you want to just take another step, you can get that darkness in there and it adds to it. Also, it's fun to come along here and put the dark right under the bow itself. And we want to separate these a little bit. Okay. And I can bring some of that in here if I want to shade it a little bit. All right, now I'm going to take my Kiss tool and I'm going to dip into white, and I'm going to find the same kind of location, like if these are all going that way. Little berries. Okay, and I'm going to flick some snow on it. And then come back and I will do all that shading underneath and show it to you guys. All right, so now the one thing I did tell you is the Misty. That gray is under here. I'll put some gray along here. Okay, just to give you that look. Now, what I want you to see is I'm going to take this white and take floating medium and make that glaze, but we got to have a lot of floating medium. Okay, so I need more to put a white glaze on anything that I want to set back. Okay, so that's good, but now I got to wipe all that white off this brush, and then we should just have a light glaze here. So look now, to put it back in the distance a little bit more, I can just put it on top of here, because we want it really like it got heavier here. We want this to set back so it looks like it's way in the background from the bird. Okay, and also some of this back here. See how they're misty back there? You see? It just looks frosty. Oh, I got red. I wasn't even around that, so I don't know how that happened. See how that just gives you that look? I know. Oh, I dropped it wrong. Okay, so, oh, it's pretty. Let's go this way a little bit. I'm not through, but it's kind of giving you a nice look, right? All right, so I want some bigger snow. So I'm going to go to my fan brush I've been using for fly specking. I've been using a lot of my toothbrush, but I'm going to, I don't want it so when it hits, it just blurs out, but I do want it a little bigger. And I'm going to stand up so I don't get it on everything. Okay, wait a minute. See, that's why I want to see the bigger drops. I've got it all over my TV. Okay, a little bit at my bird. There we go. And then you go as much as you want. It's up to you guys. All right. So I want it to come down and see. See, it's on everything. All right, but see the snow. There we go. All righty. Thank you guys. I'm going to finish it up and send y'all pictures. All right. Have a great rest of the weekend. Love you and appreciate you guys. And I will see you again this week. Isn't that a fun one? All right. Love you guys. Can't wait to see what y'all do with it.